Welcome to another Walter Football video. I'm Charlie Campbell, Senior Draft Analyst. Before we get rolling here, I suggest you click in the settings, speed it up to 1.25 or 1.5. Alright, this week's mock, as you guys know, these are projections of what I think teams will do, not what I think they should do. My opinion is irrelevant. It doesn't matter about players. What matters is where NFL teams are valuing these guys and the direction they're going to go, because that's what lays out the future of the NFL for years to come. I love the draft. It's getting close. It's like Christmas Day. Can't wait. Let's get into this week's mock. First overall, I have the Jags taking Trevor Lawrence along with everyone else in the universe, and that's a no-brainer. That's the pick. Second overall, I have the Jets taking Zach Wilson, quarterback from BYU. Now, I had a hot press come out today, Tuesday, April 13th, and in the hot press, I talked about how I talked with people at the Jets. Zach Wilson is the heavy favorite to be that pick at number 2, but it's not a done deal yet. They're still talking about it. They're still talking about Mac Jones at that pick. They're still talking about Justin Fields. The Sam Darnold trade boxed them into taking a quarterback, so it's definitely going to happen. Joe Douglas ultimately decided he wanted to reset the quarterback position, get back to that cheap 5-year contract, move on from Darnold, but they kicked around every scenario in the earlier draft meetings, but the typical pre-combine meetings and whatnot, and before the pro day circuits, they talked about potentially sticking with Darnold, taking Kyle Pitts at 2 to build around him, or Penei Sewell. They considered everything, ultimately decided to trade Darnold, reset it. Zach Wilson's the leader. Not a done deal yet, but trending that direction. So I have the Jets taking Wilson to be their future franchise quarterback. All right, third overall pick. Here's where it gets more interesting. I have the 49ers taking Mac Jones. Now, if you talk to people around the league, other scouts and staff at other teams, they think the 49ers are targeting Justin Fields, but they don't know. The 49ers staff was really coy and tight-lipped about it on the pro day circuit. Not all of their staff know the quarterback that would be taken there, assuming Lawrence and Wilson go 1 and 2. But Adam Schefter from ESPN and Daniel Jeremiah from NFL Network both have said they've heard Mac Jones is the guy for San Francisco at 3. I personally would take Justin Fields, but like I said, when I do a mock, it's what I think NFL teams will do. And Schefter and Jeremiah could have good sources there with John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan, which leads them to be so definitive about it being Mac Jones. So I have them taking Jones. Stay tuned. This could change. We'll see as we get closer here in the final 2 weeks. Fourth overall, I have the Falcons taking Justin Fields, quarterback from Ohio State. Now, this pick is difficult because Fields is a quarterback that a lot of people in the league think needs a veteran there, a guy who he can learn from, would benefit from sitting for a year, similar to Pat Mahomes in Kansas City when he sat behind Alex Smith as a rookie. And even his agent, Lee Steinberg, said he thought that really helped Pat Mahomes' development, going from Texas Tech and that wacky college system to Andy Reid's offense in the NFL. So some people in the league have said similar things. They think Justin Fields would really benefit from that. Atlanta would have that situation. You have him sit behind Matt Ryan for a year or two, then you have your future franchise quarterback ready to go. But stay tuned. I'm torn here on Fields and Pitts. If Fields doesn't get there, then I think this pick would be Kyle Pitts. Fifth overall, I have the Bengals taking Penei Sewell, left tackle from Oregon, another pick that I think could change. Maybe they go with Jamar Chase. But Sewell, to me, I think is more of a solid, safe prospect. You got to protect Joe Burrow. You got to keep him healthy. Sewell could be a Pro Bowl left tackle in the NFL. I think with the receiving talent, the depth at receiver in this draft, and consistently year after year, college football just churns out really good receiving drafts. I think it would make more sense to take Sewell and draw on that receiver talent on day 2 this year and in the years to come. Sixth overall, I have the Dolphins taking Jamar Chase, wide receiver from LSU. Obviously, Miami wanted one of the 3 elite guys to move back up to 6th overall in that trade with the Eagles. So I think they're considering Sewell, Chase, and Pitts here. In this case, Sewell's off the board. I think Chase would be their preferred option. I know they like Mike Gesicki at tight end, and I think Chase would give them kind of co-number one with Devontae Parker. You got Will Fuller, deep threat as well, and that gives to a really nice trio to help him make a leap in year 2. So I think Chase is the direction the Dolphins would go if they have a choice between those 3 guys. 7th overall, I have the Lions taking Kyle Pitts. Detroit is just really fortunate that Pitts gets their second best player in the draft, such a dynamic receiving weapon. They could play him at wide receiver. They could play him at double tight end sets with TJ Hawkinson. It can just do so much with him. Would be such an asset to that offense and give Jared Goff an elite playmaker. But that's what the Lions need to happen to get one of those 3 elite guys. They need 4 quarterbacks to go ahead of them, and then one of those 3 will be there. 8th overall, I have the Panthers taking J.C. Horn, cornerback from South Carolina. Obviously, they need a number 1 corner after losing James Bradbury. They've really hit. I had team sources talk about how Carolina on the pro day circuit was really making sure to be there and be present, have big presence at all the workouts for the top corners. So I think Carolina's going that direction, whether it's J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, stay tuned, but I think that's the direction they're going to go. 9th overall, I have the Broncos taking Trey Lance, cornerback from North Dakota State. Obviously, Denver could use a long-term starter. They don't appear to be sold on Drew Lock. So Lance gives them a really talented upside quarterback to work with. Lock could maybe start. Maybe they get lucky and have a great situation with 2 good young quarterbacks that they like and they can deal one. But either way, they got to find a long-term solution. So here's another candidate that could potentially do it for Denver. 10th overall, I have the Cowboys taking Patrick Surtain, cornerback from Alabama. Reunite him with Trayvon Diggs. Give Dallas 2 big outside corners, guys that can really limit what you can do in the passing game. Got Jordan Lewis in the slot. This would really help the Cowboys defense. 11th overall, I have the Giants taking Jalen Waddle, wide receiver from Alabama. The speedster, home run hitter, would be a really dynamic weapon across the field from Kenny Golladay. And then when the safeties are coming up to stop Saquon Barkley, you burn them over the top with Waddle and that game-breaking speed. So I really like this pick for the Giants in terms of making that offense more diverse and more explosive. 12th overall, I have the Eagles taking Tyson Campbell, cornerback from Georgia. Now, Campbell has a really good skill set. He's big, fast, athletic, can really move, just needs to improve his ability to play the ball, win those 50-50 passes, which he should be able to do given his size and length. But that's just something he didn't show at Georgia. Needs to get a bit stronger and tougher at the top of the route and competing on those 50-50 passes. But otherwise, he's big and fast and can really cover, runs with receivers, prevents separation. The Eagles need a number 1 corner. With the injury issue with Caleb Farley, I could see him sliding some and maybe some guys going ahead of him like Campbell, who has some things to work on but has a lot of upside. 13th overall, I have the Chargers taking Elijah Vera Tucker, left tackle / guard from USC. They could put him in at left tackle, potentially have a long-term left tackle to replace or protect Justin Herbert. He could also play guard. Really good player, really talented, just rock-solid pass protector, good athlete, strong and tough in the ground game. I think he's been underappreciated throughout the draft process here. He's a really good football player. 14th overall, I have the Vikings taking Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman from Northwestern. Perhaps they play him at left tackle to replace Riley Reiff or move him inside to guard or center, depending how they want to shake up their offensive line, because Slater's so versatile. You could just line him up at a few different spots to help you kind of field that best 5 possible, help improve that run blocking for Dalvin Cook and pass protection for Kirk Cousins. 15th overall, I have the Patriots taking Devontae Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. Smaller receiver, great fit as a replacement for Julian Edelman, just tremendous route runner, excellent hands, speed, ability to make plays after the catch. He's such a killer on the football field. I think the Patriots would be thrilled to land Devontae Smith at pick 15. 16th overall, I have the Cardinals taking Caleb Farley, cornerback from Virginia Tech. Before this recent back surgery, Farley was on track to be the first cornerback drafted and first defensive player drafted, but after another back surgery, he's had ACL in the past, the back was a problem in 2019, and he played through it, and then he sat out 2020. His 2018 tape was underwhelming as well, so there's just a few issues here that make Farley really fluid in terms of durability and just other concerns, but Arizona has been willing to take gambles in the first round. Hassan Reddick, Robert Nkemdiche, DJ Humphries, that's what Steve Keim does. He'll roll the dice on these guys that have great skill sets, and Caleb Farley definitely does. He's big, fast, athletic, really good tape in 2019 in terms of running the route, preventing separation, and the Cardinals need that long-term number one to replace Patrick Peterson. 17th overall, I have the Raiders taking Christian Darrisaw, left tackle from Virginia Tech. The Raiders could slide him in at right tackle, give them two good athletic pass protectors to protect Derek Carr. The one thing is here, I'm going to be digging in on this, but, Darrisaw is not that urgent of a blocker, doesn't have a mean streak, not that kind of gritty guy in the run game. So I'm a little questioning this fit with John Gruden in the mentality he likes out of offensive linemen. But we'll see. Darrisaw from a speed, length, athleticism standpoint definitely fits the bill. But we'll see. That pick could change, but I do think the Raiders are going to be looking hard at offensive tackle here because they need a replacement for Trent Brown. 18th overall, I have the Dolphins taking Micah Parsons, linebacker from Penn State. Really nice fit there for Brian Flores. He likes defenders with versatility. With Parsons' skill set, he can do a lot of different things. He can cover. You can play him as a run-chase linebacker. He's dangerous blitzing off the edge. It's probably the thing he does the best. And in Flores' defense, they could, in the sub-package, line him up as an outside linebacker to get after the quarterback. Gives them a replacement for Kyle Van Noy. I can see that fit there in Miami. 19th overall, I have Washington taking Jamin Davis, linebacker from Kentucky. Ron Rivera could turn this guy into a stud, man. He has got so much potential, so much upside. Really good 2020 tape with Kentucky. Just a one-year wonder, but he's big, fast, tough, good in pass coverage, physical in the ground game. He's just, I think if he had gone back to school and produced one more good year, he would have been top 16, top 10 in 2022. So definitely I think this pick is big upside potential for Washington, and they could use more talent in the middle of that defense. 20th overall, I have the Bears taking Aaron Robinson, cornerback from UCF. Chicago cut Kyle Fuller. They could use more cornerback talent to go with Jalen Johnson. I think Aaron Robinson's a nice scheme fit because he can play man, fast, fluid, needs to get better in zone, has vision issues, kind of paralysis by analysis when you force him to read too much. But I think with the Bears pass rush, you can put him in man, make it simple for him, and let him do what he does best. 21st overall, I have the Colts taking Alex Leatherwood, left tackle from Alabama. Obviously, they need a replacement for Anthony Costanzo. Leatherwood is big, really fits that Colts line in terms of size and strength, but he can play the typewriter with his feet, cut off that edge, lock it down from speed rushers, really protect Carson Wentz. They got to keep Carson Wentz healthy, help him get his career back on track by not dealing with a lot of injuries. So I think getting a rock-solid left tackle, guy like Leatherwood that has a lot of experience that can come in and compete quickly would make a lot of sense for the Colts. 22nd overall, I have the Titans taking Kwity Paye, edge rusher from Michigan. Gives them another rusher to go across from Bud Dupree. With Harold Landry, now you got a trio, rotate them, keep them fresh. Paye's versatile. You can slide them inside in the sub package. So now you could have all three on the field at the same time, critical third downs in the fourth quarter. So I like this fit for Tennessee. 23rd overall, I have the Jets taking Jackson Carman, left tackle from Clemson. I don't see them playing him at left tackle because they took Mekhi Becton in the first round last year, but they need more offensive line help. Really didn't do much about that in free agency. Carman could play guard, he could play right tackle, but he's 6'5", 340, great skill set, such an easy, smooth mover for a big guy. So you really have a ton of upside with him, similar to Mekhi Becton. So it fits kind of what they've done there. But they can just help that line, protect Zach Wilson by giving him more offensive line talent. I would not be surprised at all if the Jets go offensive line either with that second first-round pick or their first or that pick at the top of the second round. So they need more offensive line help, and that is a really good part of the draft for that because you have a lot of talented, good options available. All right, next up I have the Steelers taking Travis Etienne at 24th overall. They need a running back that can really get them back to that Le'Veon Bell in terms of effectiveness as a receiving back, as a running back. Etienne definitely brings that. He's such a dynamic receiver, such a weapon in that role, and on checkdowns will really help Big Ben, will give them more speed and explosiveness as a runner in the ground game. I like that fit for Pittsburgh. 25th overall, I have the Jaguars taking Christian Barmore, defensive tackle from Alabama. Dynamic interior pass rusher, would go really good with Josh Allen and Chason around him. Will really help them get after the quarterback. Needs to improve his run defense and physicality. Started to come along at the end there in the playoff and whatnot with Alabama, but he's a young player, needs some development, has big upside, really good skill set. 26th overall, I have the Browns taking Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker from Notre Dame. I've had them doing this for a few mocks now, but gives them a run chase linebacker, really help them to defend the quarterbacks in their division, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Really good in pass coverage, dangerous blitzer, had really good sack production in 2019, but was excellent in coverage in 2020, dropping back, running with backs out of the backfield, helping on receivers on underneath routes. So I could see this being a really nice fit for Cleveland. 27th overall, I have the Ravens taking Jalen Phillips, edge rusher from Miami. I think this pick could be an absolute steal for the Ravens because I really think Phillips has going to be a excellent pro. If he had gone back to Miami, had one more big year, I think he would have been top 10 pick in 2022. And I said that to an area scout over the weekend, and he completely agreed. Phillips has huge upside, big, long, strong, athletic, explosive. You saw it with a great pro day workout. His tape was really good last year. Pass rush is coming on strong, tough run defender. I think the Ravens would be so fortunate to land him in the first round as a replacement for Matt Judon or Yannick Ngakoue. 28th overall, I have the Saints taking Trayvon Moehrig, safety from TCU. Gives them an upgrade over Malcolm Jenkins. He's aging. He needs to go. They need better safety play. Moehrig would be that quickly for New Orleans. 29th overall, I have the Packers taking Greg Newsome, cornerback from Northwestern. Gives them another option, that gives them a trio with Jair Alexander and Kevin King. Kevin King's only back on a one-year deal, but Newsome has a really good skill set. He's tough, he's physical, he's got good size, height to him, fast, could stand to get a bit stronger and has some durability issues, which is why he's more of a late first-rounder, but still could end up being a nice pick for Green Bay. 30th overall, I have the Bills taking Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher from Miami. He's really sliding with teams. Just the lack of explosion and speed as a pass rusher. One-year wonder at Miami, skipped last season. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he goes late in the first round, very late. Wouldn't even shock me if he slipped to day 2, to be honest. But Buffalo could use more edge rush. Gives them a solid base end to go with A.J. Epinesa. They're going to need to work with Rousseau, develop him into more of a power player, but Sean McDermott and that staff have done a great job with player development, and I could see that being the case. Rousseau would be fortunate to land with a team like the Bills. 31st overall, I have the Chiefs taking Zaven Collins, linebacker from Tulsa. really good fit there for Kansas City because he can do a lot of different things. You can drop him in coverage, really good run chase, run defender, dangerous edge rusher, could rush across from Frank Clark, improve that speed and size there at linebacker as well. Really nice fit that helps that defense get more diverse, and a guy that makes it more difficult on offenses in terms of what he's going to do post-snap. 32nd overall, I have the Bucs taking Jason Owe, edge rusher from Penn State. Had this pick for a while. I think it makes a lot of sense for Tampa Bay because with Jason Pierre-Paul aging, coming up again on free agency before too long, but in terms of defending their title, now you got 3 edge rushers with him and Shaq Barrett, can rotate them, keep them fresh, keep them going for late in the season, and he always got huge upside, great skill set. He'll learn a lot from Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul, and in a few years the Bucs could have a stud edge rusher, 3-down starter, but immediately he's a good rotational backup that helps them to try and win another Lombardi. All right, let's get to the teams without a first-round pick. Seattle, I have them taking James Hudson, left tackle from Cincinnati. He has a great skill set, big, fast, athletic, just a one-year wonder, very limited experience in college, transferring from Michigan to Cincinnati, but I definitely think the upside is there for a really good pro. Got to have a patient approach with him, bring him along, but Seattle needs more offensive line help, and Hudson has a first-round skill set, so it's a nice value for Seattle at that point. It's just going to be incumbent on their coaches to develop Hudson, help him to grow in the NFL, put him in good situations, bring him along at his own speed. Next up, Rams, I have them taking Eric Stokes, cornerback from Georgia. Obviously, they lost guys in free agency. They need more youth at corner. You can't just, obviously, teams can throw away from Jalen Ramsey, but you need more cornerback talent to go across from. Stokes has really good tape from last year, just solid, dependable, reliable corner for Georgia. Has a good skill set as well, enough size and speed to get the job done. So that's a nice pick for the Rams. In the 3rd round, I have the Texans taking Sage Surratt, the wide receiver from Wake Forest. And now, brain cramp thinking of Chaz Surratt, linebacker from North Carolina. But Sage Surratt, his brother, was a really good receiver for Wake Forest in 2019. Big receiver, dependable to go up and win the ball over coverage. Not a big speed guy, won't be creating a ton of separation, but he's big, he's physical, and he can win at the top of the route. Really dangerous in the red zone, good 50-50 option. Really helped Jamie Newman that season in terms of being a guy that he could throw the ball up to and trust his receiver to make the play. The Texans need more long-term receiver help. Obviously, Bill O'Brien killed that position with the DeAndre Hopkins trade, signing Randall Cobb, trading for Brandon Cooks, and then Will Fuller not getting an extension, and now he's gone. I mean, that position was just trashed with the rest of the roster. They need some long-term answers. I think in the 3rd round, that could be a really nice value for the Texans with Surratt, and it could be other guys. This is such a deep receiver draft that I think Houston might end up getting a receiver there in the top of the 3rd that would go in the 2nd round or maybe even late 1st in some other drafts. So this definitely is a good value pick for Houston. So that's this week's mock. If you want to read the rest of it, it's 5 rounds long. Just click the links in there. Check out the rest of the day 2 and rounds on day 3. It's going to keep expanding. There'll be 7 rounds here coming that Monday before the draft and updated each day during draft week, of course. Walt's mock is 6 rounds long now. You can check that out. Links below. We got the position rankings being updated all the time, scouting reports, position reviews, hot press stuff that I'm hearing. So just tons of coverage on Walter football, and it wouldn't be possible without you guys, and I thank you, and I love you, and I'm really appreciative. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, send it to your friends, send it to the people you chat football with. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll be back with you guys soon, but take care, be safe, I love you, take care, see ya.